forgiveness. And there's three aspects of forgiving for me in reality. I feel like in order to forgive, you may have to forgive God if you believe in God, because we blame God for most of our trials. And maybe if you don't believe in God, maybe you might have some type of resentment towards life and or your life circumstances. Why me type of mentality, and or when other people disappoint you or hurt you or do bad things to you. Those are the three aspects of forgiveness that I'm going to talk about right now.
What does it mean to forgive? Forgiving, and this is from Google, it says, stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. That's what it means to forgive. And a psychologist, which is from Google as well, says generally define forgiveness as a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or a group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness. That's heavy. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean condoning or excusing offenses. So, because I'm going to go in deep in these notes, mind my eyes. I'm sorry, you guys. I do know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to try to be as genuine as possible when I'm talking about this. Forgiveness is a big deal for me because sometimes I feel like, especially because I'm paralyzed, I feel like certain things happen to me on purpose, and it's really hard to let go. So, I don't know. Let's keep it moving. So, again, let me repeat what it says in Google. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean condoning or excusing offenses. Another definition goes on to say forgiveness can lead to feelings of understanding, empathy, and compassion for the one who hurt you. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or excusing the harm done to you or making up the person who caused the harm. Forgiveness brings a kind of peace that helps you go on with life. So, okay, it sounds good on paper, yeah, but then when certain people do, or when you do certain things, or when life is happening in general, it's hard to really kind of forgive. And I've had to learn to forgive on almost every situation, on every problem that I've ever dealt with, I've had to learn how to forgive. Again, it's not something, even though I consider the way that I forgive people easy, it's not always so easy. Not everybody is able to forgive because the pain is so unbearable, and it's just so unbearable that you can't forgive. And I'll give a good example since we're going to talk about God first. I lost a child to cancer back in 2011, and I'm going to pause the camera while I go in deep on this. And again, you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share too, please, because it goes a long way on the YouTube thing, and I really want to be successful, especially because I'm about to launch my book soon, and I'll make a video totally about that soon. So let me go ahead and pause the camera. Okay, bear with me. So back in 2011, I lost a child to cancer, and Okay, bear with me. So back in 2011, I lost a child to cancer. And those ums will come in when I'm literally trying to pick and choose what I want to share. And I don't want to be too emotional too quickly when there's so much other things that I want to cover in this video. Why would you need to forgive God? So when I lost my child to cancer, it was unbearable. In fact, in the video that I just referenced, Disability Woes, I I tell you a brief description about my resentment towards God. I don't know why God allows suffering sometimes. And even though I've asked that question so many different times, every season of my life, when I do ask those types of questions, it causes me to blame God for things that He's allowed. And I know sometimes people might think that God is not paying attention, but I really feel like He is. And so, whether God did something to me or not, because I feel like God has allowed certain things to happen, and I personally don't believe in coincidences or things happening by chance. I believe that everything is ordained and destined and organized by the source, God, Jesus. And I feel like everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to, the way God designed it to be. And like I said in the other video, God will use everything, good and bad, for our ultimate good, for our ultimate growth lessons, or whatever reason God has put us here. For love, basically. For love. It's a very sensitive topic for me because this past few seasons I've had to forgive people that kind of took me from left field. I was so disappointed and so surprised by some of the treacherous behavior from my family and friends that I just had to go within and learn how to to forgive all over again. And since I've been paralyzed, it's been an ongoing process in my mind. And I'm just going around in circles sometimes, feeling some type of way when it doesn't necessarily need to be like that. I've done things in the past that may have made me feel like, okay, is this the reason why I'm paralyzed? Or did I, cheat on that one test that one time? Or I don't know. But sometimes we make certain mistakes in our lives that causes us to feel like that's the reason why we feel some type of way, or we feel so bad, or life circumstances are so bad. And no, that's not the case. You need to learn how to just forgive yourself. People are going to hurt you. People will disappoint you. People are human, and learning to forgive them can be a long process as well. However, forgiveness and letting go is an ultimate healing process. It allows you to heal so that you can love, grow, and then progress. So, all of them kind of like intertwine with each other. Can't have one without the other, really. Can't really let go of something if you don't forgive the situation or person. Can't truly heal or truly forgive if you don't know how to forgive God, forgive yourself, and forgive others. Those things will fester and cause unnecessary stress, really, for your life. I'm sorry I'm talking like that because I'm doing a lot of thinking and overthinking. And so sometimes when I'm doing too much overthinking, it causes me to just pause and do all those ums and stuff, which I'll be working on for my progress, you guys. And since this is a very serious topic, I want to make sure that I say everything that I want to say and make sure that I get all the points across. So, forgiving is the first thing when you deal with the situation. We'll go into depth with it because since I said all of them kind of intertwine, the next thing that you need to do with any situation that causes you pain, resentment, anger, or any type of negative feeling is first you got to acknowledge that the hurt is existing, that you are in pain, that you do have an issue. And then you got to consider how this pain, this hurt, this situation has affected you. And then the next way to forgive is whether to accept whether you can change. I'm sorry. The next way to figure out to forgive, the next step in forgiveness is accepting that you can't change the past. And you got to determine whether you're going to forgive or not with the situation. And sometimes you get to that point and you feel like you're not going to be able to forgive. You don't have to forgive right away, but forgiveness is, like they say, is not for them, it's for your inner self, for your inner peace. So, um, when you decide to forgive, though, um, you gotta find a way to repair either your sanity, your relationship, and everything in between, really. The next thing is try to find the lesson out of the problem. There's always something to learn in every situation, no matter how minute. And sometimes you may not understand that lesson until later on. Sometimes we go through certain things to share with other people so that they can be able to learn from our mistakes or learn from what other people have done. And that within itself is therapy and helping you repair yourself. And another thing that kind of holds people back, this negative feeling, is regret. When you feel sad and you feel some sense of repentance or disappointment or something that has happened to you or has been done to you, you want to be able to let go. Letting go is not an easy thing. So I read this article and it was on, I'll link that as well in the description. It's on healthline.com and they talk about how do you let go. And those are the things that I'm going to start talking about. It's about 12 steps and I'm going to apply them to my life because I've already done most of these things to implement learning to let go of certain situations. There's things that I'm still learning to let go as a disabled person. If you go back and reference my disability woes in that video, it's an ongoing process because one of the main things that I'm learning how to forgive and let go is the abandonment and neglect that I get from my family and friends. And I go in depth about that in the other video, but these are the things that help me pursue my happiness. Letting go, and these steps are what help me maintain that stability in my mind, my heart, and my soul. So when a situation is so overwhelming, like when I lost my child and I didn't know why, and was asking God all these questions, and I just really needed to know, to be at peace, and to get clarity, and to figure out when he was alive, I didn't know if he was going to die, and even though he was on um, life support the last month of his life, he died at 15 months, 15 or 16 months, and the last month or so of his life, he was on life support. And we were trying to figure out whether we were going to take him off or not. And my husband didn't want to, but I ultimately decided to let him go. And one of the ways that I was able to forgive God was a mixture of mantras and a whole bunch of the other steps that I'm going to talk about that I got from this particular article. And this article, again, is from healthline.com. The first thing that they talk about is using a mantra to counter the painful thoughts. Because even now, I deal with a lot of painful thoughts from my past. And being that I'm writing my book, it's been so hard to get everything out because it's like reliving these things over again. And it's like reopening these scars. And it's like, will I ever be able to heal from them if I don't, let them go and just choose to think otherwise? So in order to counter these negative thoughts, I infuse myself with positive affirmations or have vision parties where I'm imagining myself in a different, like an imagination party, I would call them sometimes, and just put myself in scenarios where, I'm enjoying life, I'm enjoying myself, I'm enjoying what this life has to offer, and just entertain these details in my mind to distract me from the things that I can't control. I can't control that my son had cancer. I can't control my past. Um I can't change certain things that's happened to me, but I can control the painful thoughts that I entertain. And sometimes when I find myself can't control my thoughts or can't control the things that I'm envisioning, I just drill some positive words like I'll just say love, 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 love all day. And or joy, 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 peace, peace, peace. Or I'll just use one word and just say it over and over and over in my mind until my mind is a little bit clear and I'm able to do something else. Because even though in the article they suggest for you to physically distance yourself from a situation, I guess that's my way of distancing myself from my painful thoughts is to go into a different world. Um, I recently got into a feud with one of my good friends, and I literally had to physically distance myself from South Florida in general. I needed to get away because there was just so many painful experiences back to back that I needed to recover. I needed to recoup. I needed to find clarity within myself because everybody around me was not making sense. It felt like I said before, like I was getting targeted or something. Like they were purposely going out of their way to hurt me. In the article, it says that says there's a psychologist Durf was, anyways, the first Sala, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. She quoting her, she says, creating physical or psychological distances between ourselves and the person or situation can help with letting go for the simple reason that we are not having to think about it, process it, or being reminded of it as much, she explains. And so I know I've used that tactic to let go of things because even though I don't really go in deep about astrology, one of the things that I read before about Aquarians, which that's my sign, is that it's hard for us to let go of certain things, especially things that's happened in the past. And I find that's true, even though I may have forgiven the person and even tried to rebuild my relationship with certain people, the pain, letting go of the pain and the harboring all that negative energy sometimes still is inside me. And until I acknowledge it and address it and find valid solutions to those problems, it seems like they keep reopening old wounds that never really truly got healed. So you got to do your own work. It's a choice really. You have to choose to to forgive. You have to choose to let go. You have to choose to heal. And in the article, it also talks about doing your own work, practicing mindfulness, and being gentle to yourself. These things are definitely needed in order for you to grow. And in the article, it says focusing on yourself is important. You have to make the choice to address the hurt that you've experienced. When you think about a person who caused you pain, bring yourself back to the present. Then focus on something that you're grateful for. That's healing. Once you start thinking, God, my life verse is Proverbs 4, verse 6. Pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank God for what you already got. I don't think that's exactly how it goes. Pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank Him for what you already have. And tell Proverbs. No, and I said the wrong verse too, all over the place. Philippians 4, verse 6. Don't worry about anything. Pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for what you already got. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm so trying to finish this video that I'm all over the place. But yeah, I that's another way that helps me forgive and let go is through prayer and meditation and being mindful of the things that I can't control. Um, and just enjoy my present and learn how to live in the now and be accepting of what I am capable of doing now and being thankful for all the progress that I've made before and overcame before and don't take away from my journey and not let one of many issues that are to come um, take away from my growth and my progress and my success and my abundance. So sometimes like we can be hard on ourselves and we kick ourselves for allowing this person to hurt you or kick ourselves for making this particular decision. But in reality, we're humans and we all make mistakes and there's no race. We're all learning a specific lesson designed for our own journey. And it's up to you to accept your journey and accept your life and accept yourself and look in the mirror and love yourself because there's going to be seasons. I'm not sure everybody goes through those kinds of seasons, but there's seasons where I've felt so alone and so by myself. And if I didn't know how to love myself and comfort myself and motivate myself, I don't think that I would still necessarily be alive. I want to believe that God has blessed me with the ability to have self care and self awareness. And another thing that they talk about in the article is allow yourself to feel some of these emotions. Sometimes we don't want to feel bad things or negative emotions, or, it just causes us stress and we don't want to feel, we just isolate ourselves or um, just don't want to deal with certain things. You're not alone. Nobody likes problems. Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants good things. But we live in a life where it's both. We have good and bad. There's give and take, and you have to learn to, uh, enjoy both. Both offer some type of pleasure. Without the bad, we wouldn't understand how good the good is, and without the bad, we wouldn't be able to grow and understand and learn. We learn from, well, not everybody learns from their mistakes, but the mistakes that we make are lessons that we should be able to take and grow upon them, share to others, and give other people inspiration. Well, that's how I feel, basically. Anyways, uh, uh, um, I guess it's a whole intervention that you would need to do sometimes when it comes to allowing your negative emotions to flow. So try not to fight the things that you can't control. Try to go with the flow and embrace everything for what it is. If you don't want to engage in certain negative feelings, learning to counteract them is probably the best way. Now, I've already stated several ways to be able to do that, but I'm going to continue. And then when you're forgiving and learning to let go of certain things, you gotta accept that the other person may not apologize, and or life might not apologize back. When I was a child, I was somebody did something really bad to me, and it took almost my whole life to forgive this person. And because I was underage, I was like 8 years old when it happened. I first blamed myself. I hated the fact that I was so helpless and I didn't defend myself and I didn't do more to help myself. Then I got mad at the person for knowing better but not doing better. Then I got later on kept going more as more the years. I kept getting mad at God for allowing certain things to happen to me in my life. Uh, if I'm waiting for people, God, and all these situations to apologize to me, then I'd never, I'd be super miserable, and I would never be able to heal. That's where you engage in self care. In the article, it says we are hurting, it often feels like there is nothing but hurt. And the person goes on to reference one of the therapists where they say self care can look like setting boundaries, saying no, doing the things that bring us joy and comfort, and listening to our own needs. And verbatim, she says, the more we can implement self care into our daily lives, the more empowered we are. From that space, our hurts don't feel as overwhelming. Yeah, so I do the mantras, I journal, I do YouTube, I engage in things that make me happy, and I can go on and on and on about self care. But yeah, then you want to surround yourself with people who fill you up, people who will make you stronger. Iron sharpens iron, as it says in the Bible. And you got to be with people who strengthen you, who are willing to do life with you. We can't do life alone, and we can't expect ourselves to get through pain and all the things that we go through as humans by ourselves. You have to be able to lean on your loved ones, on one person, or even if it's a stranger or people who come into your life that want to help you and show you support. Isolating yourself is never the way to go. I don't necessarily think as humans we were designed to be by ourselves. We're pretty social and we really like each other no matter how much we drag each other and trash each other. We care about what we think about each other. So getting people who fill you up is also. And even if you, like me, like I said, when I was in a nursing home, I didn't have nobody to talk to. And it was hard to communicate with certain people. And then eventually, Corona did end up coming, so it got even more intense. But there's other ways. I'm able to talk to you guys, my new family, my new YouTube family, and a lot of you guys leave wonderful comments and encouragements, and I'm not gonna cry. But it's been a very awesome journey to hear people rooting for my success and, supporting my cause, to share my story and be as inspirational as I can be by, giving different sides of myself that not a lot of people are able to do. God has given me the ability to be articulate and to love on others by sharing my different gifts that hopefully I'm able to exert fully. And it's a great feeling. The next thing that you want to do is you want to give yourself permission to talk about it. Like I said, I'm writing my book, and it's been so hard to finish because reliving some of these situations by writing them down and sharing, and it could be so overwhelming. And in the article, it says when you're dealing with painful feelings or situations that hurt you, it's important to give yourself permission to talk about it. The one particular doctor says that this may be because the people around them no longer want to hear about it. What is it? Sometimes people can't let go because they feel they are not allowed to talk about it. This may be because the people around them no longer want to hear about it, or the person is embarrassed or ashamed to keep talking about it. However, talking about it is very important. That's why it's always good to have a friend or a therapist. There's so many ways to get support in the society we live in. And then sometimes you may have to allow yourself to forgive. Give yourself permission to forgive. That's the 11th step in letting go. Since waiting for other people sometimes to apologize can make the situation harder to let go. Like when I told you about that person who harmed me as a child, and life situations happening to me without explanations and still not really fully understanding why they happened. I just let it go. I do the self work, and try to be as self aware as much as possible because I know forgiveness is crucial for the healing process. And in order for me to help myself and help others as well through the healing process that seems like to be a constant thing in this life, forgiveness is a must. Um, I don't want to hold on to anger. I don't want to hold on to guilt. I don't want to hold on to shame. I don't want to hold on to sadness. I don't want to hold on to any other feeling that keeps me from experiencing growth and progress and healing and moving on from one situation to another. So all those things allow me to let go. And hopefully I'm not rambling so much where I'm not making any sense. I hope everything that I'm saying right now resonates and is being said properly. And hopefully when I go back and listen to this video, I agree. And something that I also mentioned in my last video is seeking professional help. I've been through so many different unfortunate events that I've needed to go to a therapist, and I've needed to get some of these painful thoughts out to somebody who can give me positive feedback and how to address those issues. Because self talk sometimes can be very painful when there's painful things around you or being said to you and so on. So talking to a therapist isn't so bad. And if you can't reach a therapist, there's so many tools online as Americans. I don't know about other places who may be listening, but um, looking up things online on how to take care of your mind, your soul, your spirit is available. So hopefully, maybe one day I can link up with people like the Suicide Hotline or um, different organizations. In fact, I will make a video about my upcoming events. I do have something secret that I'm working on that I want to share with you guys, but not in this video. Anyways, yeah, so hopefully I'm almost done with this video. I know it's been a while already, but yeah, so seeking help from a professional if you ultimately can't let go or forgive, because like I said, in order for you to truly heal, you have to learn to let go and forgive. Anyways, the last thing that they ultimately say in the article is to let go of past hurts, you need to make the conscious decision to take control of the situation. That means you have to make a choice. You have to decide to do something about the pain, the resentment, or whatever is making you that you need to either learn to forgive or let go. In my case, both, in order to heal. Sometimes, however, this can take time and a lot of practice. So be kind to yourself as your practice refocuses how you see the situation and celebrate the small victories you have. That was an amazing article. I just really loved it. I felt like even though I already knew all those things and I've already implemented them, I thought talking about it in this blog would be a great addition to the video that I made talking about how I hate certain things now that I'm paralyzed. I'm constantly learning how to renew my mind and exercise my body and eat healthy, share my story, and be as grateful as possible. Those are all my healing tactics that causes me to be happy. That's how I choose to be happy, and that's how I love. That's how I learn to grow, and that's how I've been being able to be progressive. And the one of the last questions that I really want to address is, what does it mean to love? And in the Bible, the definition goes as this, and this is 1 Corinthians 13, 4 to 7. And I'm going to read it verbatim. It says, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It's not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but loses. Sorry, I lost my place. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Amen. So I know that sometimes when you're going through a situation, it feels like it would be so hard to forgive. But in the Bible, it says, and I'm sure everybody's heard this phrase, where Jesus says, if somebody hurts you, slaps you on one side of the cheek, you turn your other cheek for them. And if somebody steals one of your items, you give them your cloak or something like that. And if you're going to forgive, you got to forgive 77 times, times 7. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's there on purpose because God knows that we would need instructions on why to forgive, how to forgive, and all that good stuff. Because if you truly want to love God, yourself, and others, which is the ultimate command that Jesus left behind, love God with all your might and soul, love others like you love yourself. In order for you to truly love anything or anybody, you have to implement all of these things. Being patient is not easy, and sometimes being kind to people who hurt you cannot be even further from what you want to do. And sometimes, especially now that I'm paralyzed, it's really easy for me to feel like that I'm missing out and get really jealous of people and rude to people. But then I realized that if I want to exercise love, true love, unconditional love, love in general, because it's a word that is truly under, it's just a word that, I guess, like the song says, comes and goes, but few people truly understand what it means. Well, the sacrifice that Jesus made on the cross for me shows me that there is a way to be able to love people, regardless of who you are, of what you are, of who you think you are, or whatever. Because that sacrifice to love is it's just so overwhelmingly great. So I don't want nobody for giving up on me, so I'm choosing not to give up on other people. And I feel like since life is happening for everybody, and I've been saying this for the longest, we gotta endure it together. Anyways, thank you guys for visiting. If you made it this far, you must really like me. I've been talking for over 45 minutes, so, and there were several times in the video I wanted to stop and redo it, but then I just wanted to be as candid and genuine as possible, regardless if I'm able to make wonderful types of videos. My lighting may not be great. My video quality is not that awesome, but at least what I'm saying, the genuine, like my genuine self is coming out, and hopefully people can learn from that and grow from that, and we can do life together. And my whole purpose of sharing my story is complete. Again, thank you again for coming by. Do all the wonderful stuff to advance my channel. You guys, thank you again.